facing $30 million in budget cuts.
On February 13, the district superintendent, Guadalupe Guerrero, sent out a message to all PPS families informing them about what might be cut from the budget and how it will affect students. Students should still have access to things like the library, PE, and visual and performing arts classes, but other specialties like the makerspace might be going away and will be finalized at the end of this April.
The strike in November has definitely impacted the intensity of the budget cuts, as teachers have requested higher pay, but the state is not able to fund the district to meet these requests, which is why they are needing to cut certain educators and special programs. One especially affected community is the special education program.
At the board meeting on March 5th, Alyssa Puller, an occupational therapist with the district, said that these factors directly relate to the achievement gap between students with and without disabilities and our graduation rates. Overall, the budget cuts are going to impact every school in the district, but let's talk to Lincoln principal Peyton Chapman to learn about what we can do.
In a pretty hard budget year, so the district had to cut millions of dollars at central office and in school. So we've had to unassign our library assistant, makerspace facilitator. So I think not having a bookkeeper is really hard. The makerspace facilitator, that seems devastating when we have a brand new school and 3D printers, and just knowing the thousands of dollars, I mean it has to be probably millions of dollars in that room, is going to be really hard. Trying to figure out what we can do with other staff members or having classes in the makerspace. But the beauty of the makerspace is that anyone can come in and the teacher can partner and collaborate with people. To be honest with you, the budget cuts are a state problem. Our state, Oregon, has never funded a quality education model, even as defined by our state. Washington does fund a quality education model, for example. California does, but Oregon doesn't. So the real problem is that we haven't been given enough state funds. And then the district decides how to distribute the state funds, and our district uses a weighted equity formula. Lincoln receives fewer student dollars for teachers and support staff than some other schools do, because we have one of the lowest numbers of free and reduced lunch, for example. I can't think of any positive impacts, except that I think we're not the only district facing huge deficits. We're facing a $128 million deficit over the next 3 years, but so are other districts. And our district actually had a little bit of reserves, because by law, school districts have to have a little bit of reserves in case there's an emergency. Other districts had dipped into their reserves last year, so they really have to lay off even more. But the only positive that can come out of this is that the public knows, and our state legislators know, our governor knows, the real importance and the problem with not funding a quality education model. It's been quieter than I expected. During the strike, when people thought it was the district's problem or the superintendent's problem, people lined up over the bridge and they were out on the sidewalks and posters. I really was expecting everybody to go down to Salem with that same energy to ask the governor and the elected officials for their demands to fund a quality education model. And it was I know some union leaders went, district leaders went, but it wasn't a very visible public outcry and demand for added resources for schools. There's hope for a little bit more. If our enrollment suddenly goes up, state funding is based on student enrollment. So we use predictions that Portland State University demographers give us, and that's how we get our staffing. If, for example, we were staffed at 1,600, if 1,700 students come here, we could get 3 more FTE. Contact your elected officials, speak up, write letters to the editor, all the actions that people take when they want to get politically involved, because this has to be one of the most important needs in our state.
I'm a Lincoln High School library assistant, and I also am the book clerk.
Here.
So my position's been unassigned, which means it won't exist next year. And across the district, library assistants in elementary, middle schools, and high schools have been eliminated. So there'll be very few, if any, library assistants left. think one of the biggest things is that the level of service will go down in the libraries. So I cover when Lori's teaching, I am the person who, when she does research classes and different things like that in the library, I'm the person who keeps handling the flow in the library. Well, I'm gonna really miss it if I'm not here next year. I really love working with the students. I had 3 kids who graduated from here, so I really will miss working with Lincoln students and helping with research and IB and the IAs and just everything that goes on. But I used to volunteer, so I'll probably go back to volunteering at Lincoln.
Clearly, the budget cuts are affecting a lot of people, whether that is students or teachers. But we encourage everybody to write letters to the state legislators and use their voice.